we're a Light Root Community Farm, and we farm here in Boulder, Colorado. I'm Daphne Kingsley. This is my husband, Genter. We farm just over 100 acres, and our dairy herd is about 12 milking cows plus young stock and dry cows, so about total 25 animals on the farm, milk cows on the farm. And then we've got draft horses.
We've got about 6 draft horses, a couple hundred chickens, and 6 pigs.
So we focus on soil health at Light Root Community Farm because we see that as the foundation for the health of the whole farm and for everything we do. You know, the health of the soil leads to the healthy plants, healthy crops, and ultimately healthy animals, and then ultimately a high quality product that we can offer to our community. Well, I think for us with farming, we've been farming for over 20 years now together, and I think some of probably our biggest fears and challenges diving in were affordable land access and land tenure.
Right, and as far as like fears for the soil health, like different practices that you would do for soil health, we always learned that way. We started out on a biodynamic farm in California where we learned, and it was draft horse powered, and they did rotational grazing, and they do vegetables, and they had all mixed livestock, and so cover cropping, and so really we've been doing it our whole time. We almost don't know the other way, so soil health it's just what we do. There's nothing to be afraid of. I mean, it's sort of the secret to our success is by taking care of the soil. We're a dairy farm. That's one of our main enterprises on this particular farm. So through our grazing practices, where the animals go into a piece of pasture, and they never stay in that pasture longer for than a couple days, and then we move them out of that spot. And
So we use management intensive grazing?
Yeah, we call it rotational grazing. You can call it regenerative grazing. You can call it mob grazing to a certain extent. We allow ample time, often months, for that grass to then regenerate and grow all the way back again. And in that process of grazing down, and the cows trample it with their feet, and they poop and they pee, and then the roots die back after they graze it, you're really creating a lot of organic matter in the soil and a lot of life in the soil. So through the grazing, that's one of our main practices.
Through compost making, so we generate a lot of manure with the cows and the horses and the chickens. So all of our manure is managed through our composting system. So we make extensive windrows of compost that we then ultimately let them mature for over a year or so, but ultimately they get applied on the crop fields and the pastures. And so that's our main input back into our soil fertility. I think another big thing for our soil health and soil conservation is our low impact draft horse tillage. Yeah. So we primarily use draft horses on the farm for our tillage work. Or actually, and then other than that, it's just handwork. So, and the horses just have less compaction on the land. They're lighter. We can get into the crop fields earlier sometimes in the spring because they're going to do less damage on the soil.
I guess it's a simple system, really, to be honest. If you focus on your soil health with your composting and your rotational grazing or mob grazing, and rest that grass, get them in, get them out, and then come back when it's fully regrown,
It's about having a diversity of, the diversity of plant life, diversity of livestock, having that right balance of animals on your land. If you start to push too many animals and get, if we were to get too many milk cows, all of a sudden we're taking too much we don't have enough grassland to graze them all. They're making more impact, maybe producing too much manure. Like it's about having that right balance of the right number of animals that the land can support. As the farmer, we're the orchestrator of it, kind of.
Right. So it's important to also look at yourself as the farmer and always assess what you did, what you didn't do, what worked, what didn't work, and always continue to focus on seeing better on the land and really working on yourself, and that's a big part of it.